It's a video on polarity in relationships. So, okay, in embodiment terms, we have particular types, particular preferences. The most simple model of this perhaps could be called yin and yang. We will see other models like 4-element models. We could look at a polarity there like earth and air, fire and water. Lots of models, lots of ways of cutting it, but there are different ways of being a human. Now, what we tend to find is opposites attract in this way, and that could be what makes a great business team. For example, myself and my co-trainers that I work with, say Frankie or Vilya, trainers I work with on EFC have pretty different types to me. There's a degree of polarity in that. Now, if that's a mature relationship, and I'll say what I mean by that in a minute, that could be a really, really good team, and there's going to be a certain tension there, which is actually helpful in many ways for, in this case, the training, though your case might be business, whatever. So what I mean by a mature relationship is you're self-aware, so you're aware of your strengths, but you're also aware of some of the diversity of ways of being human, and rather than judging that as bad, you're seeing the pluses of those other ways of being, and you've dealt with what we could call the shadow, some of the unconscious material around that. So while you may have a different type, it's not so much actively repressed and denied. It's just like, okay, well, that's kind of not my way of doing things, but it's not like, triggering. Yeah. So in terms of the mature person, in terms of self-awareness, the shadow work, this kind of polarity can be much more healthy. And this is more than just like a good team. It is that, but it's more than that. And we really see this in sexuality. So whether you're gay, straight, whatever, there's always some kind of polarity within this. This leads to some of the cliches we see about the butch and the femme, for example, in gay couples. Yeah, you know, even though there's a cliches, they're based on something. And you'll say, like, who wears the trousers, you might say, with a straight couple. Now, but, you know, sexism aside, there's real polarity there. And when that goes missing, when people get too similar, when people aren't, like, topping up their own side of that deal, yeah, by being around people that have more their type or doing activities that engage in the yang stuff or the yin stuff or whatever, David Davis speaks nicely about this, then it can go, kind of go into the middle, which is friendly, you know, it's nice because you're kind of similar, but it loses that dynamic tension, you know. And again, a mature relationship might have some movement here, it might have different role taking, but usually it's still like 2/3 one way, 2/3, you know, 1/3 the other, right? So 2/3 this way, and then occasionally it might change for a mature relationship, flexible gender roles in the Western world, but then still 2/3 the other way. So super useful to understand polarity, how that works, also how one creates the other. The risks in polarity would be things like outsourcing. So outsourcing is what I call it when you say, okay, not just you're different from me and there's a nice polarity, a nice movement in that, but it could be, okay, you're the one who does that. That's your job now. So completely denying that's anything you need to be responsible for. Like, okay, you're the creative one, I'm the organized one. Then that withers and dies within you and starts to become a projected thing on the other, makes that relationship one of dependency, gets very sticky. This is why when people break up with partners, they often feel very liberated because all of a sudden they get part of themselves back. And it's also terrifying because they have to do things they haven't done before. Yeah, but there's a kind of a terrifyingness and a growth within that. So that's usually a sign that that relationship has gone from a true polarity to a dependency relationship. So one to watch out for. So random thoughts on polarity and body polarity. This is a body thing in terms of how we move, how we are in ourselves. Yeah, hope that's useful.